Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Weekly Comic Grind. We've covered this week's Marvel books as well as our offering from Boom Studios. Now it's on to this week's Batman books. Because, yes, there are that many DC books this week. Kicking things off, we've got Batman number 112. So, last week we had Fear State Alpha, which kicked off the multi-month-long Fear State crossover, which will be appearing in the Batman books. So basically, kind of getting all the players in a position to set up the storylines for the stories for each of the various titles. Batman worked on escaping from Scarecrow. Harley brought the Unsanity Collective down to Ivy's jungle, and decided to work with the Garter to find the missing part of Ivy to, basically make Ivy whole again. The missing part of Ivy talked some with Catwoman. Oracle tried to, when Simon Saint cut communications to the city, Oracle tried to calm everyone. However, someone hacked her signal and basically made things worse. So, we begin. Batman's trying to escape from Scarecrow's compound. And TV screens are showing this kind of infomercial about Simon Saint, how he grew up in Gotham, and wanted to make things better, and got out of Gotham, and then after the Joker War, like, okay, I have to go back. And it introduces Peacekeeper 01. Batman eventually manages to make it back to away at least. But there's another interview with Simon Saint that's shown, which explains the concept behind the magistrate, the peacekeepers, is that peacekeepers are designed to go up against costume lunatics with weapons and abilities out of a science fiction novel, as he puts it. Police are not trained for that, and so that's what the magistrate would do, is handle costume crime. But turns out that Peacekeeper 01 isn't answering his comms. And he took a face full of fear toxins. So, yeah. He's seeing some funky shit right now, that's for damn sure. Batman makes it to the clock tower and is tripped up by Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, who is surprised to see that Batman's alive. As the Oracle fills in Batman on the anti-Oracle situation. Turns out they do still have access to Ghostmaker's GhostNet, which is still secure, but that's the only thing they have access to. Ghostmaker gives a sit rep. Harley tells Ghostmaker to tell Batman that her and the Gardener are going to go find the missing part of Ivy and save Gotham City. And when she does it, Batman will have to give her a Robin costume. But Batman asks if things are stable where he's at. Meet him at the garage, as his mind's been compromised, and, well, Batman needs Ghostmaker's help. Things are getting bad in town. While the Scarecrow watches, quite pleased with himself. Simon Saint basically further modifies his assistant Ricardo into Peacemaker X, or Peacekeeper X, whose entire thing is Peacekeeper X is basically the internal affairs division of the magistrate. The Peacekeeper Peacekeeper X is, yeah, Peacekeeper X. And if a Peacekeeper goes rogue, Peacekeeper X handles it. Our backup story, part one of three, focusing on Clown Hunter fighting Scarecrow and getting his ass handed to him and chucked off of a building. Suddenly he wakes up in a bed. A kindly old woman brings him some tea, and she explains that, he saved her from some clowns recently and at a market. And the more she talks, stranger things are getting, and her smile seems to get wider and wider. And she knows things she shouldn't know, like Clown Hunter's name. And then it turns out it's his brain going into a bit of shock while he is still falling. And that is where the issue ends. So, the kickoff for Fear State, I don't want to say a little slow, but it feels like just a continuation of Fear State Alpha. Basically, making sure you know exactly where the various pieces are set up, and what we're going to be dealing with in all the other books. So, yeah, I was right that the kind of framing device, the framing portions of recent issues of Batman basically were Batman escaping from making his way out of Scarecrow's compound in the early parts of Fear State. Clown Hunter's story is nice. I like Clown Hunter. He's a new character. He's new member. Not member of the Bat family so far, but as of yet, but a fun character to read. And with an interesting take on things. Well, moving on to our next book, we've got Batman Catwoman number 7. Where we left off, elderly Selina Wayne confided in her daughter Helena that yes, she killed the Joker. And, well, yeah, things were happening with the Phantasm and Catwoman seemed to be working together against Joker, but then things kind of went sideways. So the issue begins. The issue begins with Batman and Catwoman having sex, but later Bruce comes to in a room. There's a ringing sound. In the future arc, Commissioner Dick Grayson shows up at Wayne Manor to arrest Selina. They talk a bit, and she asks if he ever knew why Bruce put him in the brightly colored tights. And she asked Bruce, shouldn't he be in all black like you? And apparently Dick asked him the same question once, and he said that if Dick wore the black, he would rely on the night to hide him instead of his own skills. The yellow made him more aware of his vulnerabilities, so he worked out much harder. What he told Selina is that it was to make the Joker laugh. He thought if the Joker saw Robin as nothing, as a silly yellow joke, he might not kill you. Bruce and Selina discuss what she knows about where Joker is, and well, she won't say it. But in the room with the ringing noise, Bruce is handcuffed, and he pulls the lockpick out from his foot, undoes his handcuffs, he's bleeding, and so he uses the blood he paints his face with his blood. In the future, Helena, Huntress, is talking, confesses to the costume house she pretty, there's all manner of evidence that clearly says that yes, Selina Kyle killed the Joker. Not even one of Bruce Wayne's lawyers could get her out of it. But and she does, but she wonders, why did her parents? What was it about her parents? Sure, she loves her mom, but her mom is everything that her and her father aren't, and she doesn't get it. But with Bruce, presumably police have swarmed the room he's in, close quarters, so they can't shoot, but also low light, so they can't see he's Bruce Wayne. But he's just going after them like mad, and he also does the old, smacks up, take down one of the cops and steal their uniform to escape. Gets the medical attention, kills the EMT, or not kills, but punches out the EMT and escapes. We also get the mugshot of Selina Wayne, which is a nice little callback to an old Adam Hughes Catwoman cover where she was having a mugshot taken. One of the other points in the timeline, Batman's meeting with Commissioner Gordon at a crime scene. They're pulling Santa Claus out of a chimney, stuffed in there by the Joker. Left a note. What does Santa feel going down the chimney? Claustrophobic. And even Gordon says, we have to stop him, like for good. We can't just let him keep going. And Bruce, covered in blood, asks how. But he might be asking Catwoman, who's appeared and basically told him that she was with Phantasm and they were about to take out the Joker, but then the Joker whispered something in Phantasm's ear while Phantasm had her scythe, in midair, and Phantasm turned around and stabbed and used it on Catwoman. Took Joker and ran. In the future, after being locked up, Catwoman pulls a lockpick from her foot, much like Bruce did, and that is where the issue ends. I do enjoy this book. It's just that it's hard to the not entirely linear storytelling is a little jarring. I would have preferred. I think I would have preferred this as being three separate series, like Batman Catwoman Book 1, Batman Catwoman Book 2, Batman, something like that. But oh well. There's so much about it that's great. It's not a bad book. It's just the fact that there have been issues with it coming out on a regular basis don't help either. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got The Joker Presents a Puzzlebox, Book 2. Where we left off, the Riddler was dead. GCPD had arrested every Gotham villain in lockup, and only one of them was willing to talk. The Joker. But how true is what Joker's saying? Pointing fingers all over the damn place. Which he continues to do in Book 2. This time, we've got Black Mask going to Russia for a piece of the of the box. Then getting attacked by Two-Face, who is subsequently left in the cold, left shot bleeding in the cold by Black Mask. Mask isn't talking though. Wants his lawyer. But he's convinced maybe he will talk when he sees an old homeless woman being brought into one of the other interrogation rooms. Joker then spins another yarn, this time involving Harley going through a cave and apparently being chased by some creatures that appear to be a combination of man and anglerfish. Of course, it turns out that Black Panther, or not Black Panther, why did I say Black Panther? Mad Hatter. I don't know where Black Panther came from. I don't know. I mean, well, you know what I mean. But Mad Hatter, turns out, has been manipulating her, and it was, in fact, her Harleys, who Hatter is further attacking. Harley ties him up, and seemingly she gets the piece of the box she was sent for. But it looks like Killer Croc is also making a play for the box. Then, as the night goes on, a lawyer shows up, has a fun little back and forth with one of the cops who apparently he knows well enough that, you know, they can actually joke about each other's jobs. And well, he's shown the holding cell with literally everyone inside. But none of them are his guy. Turns out he's there for Black Mask, and thusly interrupts the conversation Mask is having with Detectives Montoya and Allen, and that is where the issue ends. This is definitely turning out to be one of the most enjoyable books I've been picking up lately. I'm eager to see how it plays out. Which brings us to our last book for the moment, Suicide Squad: Get Joker, Book 2. Where we left off, Jason Todd was leading a Suicide Squad into Gotham to take out the Joker. However, Amanda Waller had followed the team into Gotham to keep a closer eye on them, and she was attacked by the Joker, who saw her control box and promptly used it to prove that he had it and killed squad member Firefly. So we begin Joker at the Bay, or Morning Tide. He apparently attacks the Tide every day because it doesn't stop coming. And so they try to do the same thing. Just maybe, maybe there's something to it. Red Hood calls one of his contacts to explain what happened. And they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. Toyman also explains that, getting the explosive out would basically lobotomize them. A lot of the first half of the issue is just downtime with the squad members, and showing them getting to know one another. But Mad Dog basically explains that the waiting is kind of driving him nuts, And Harley chimes in by saying that, Joker knows that. So going on that she'd watched him sitting in a chair or a car, lying in bed, just giggling. And so she asked what he was laughing at. He said nothing, and it's driving them crazy. So, right, so this is part of the plan then. And she says, no. He doesn't have a plan. He never does. But they're invited the squad is invited to a party. The moment of invitation does get a little hectic. But they agree to go. No weapons, though. However, when they arrive at the strip club where the party is to be held at, turns out that, Mad Dog tried to slip in a small, very small gun in his pants. But they decided, most of them started just kind of, well, it's a party, may as well party, right? However, Jason, some of the others kind of, hang back, making sure that keeping an eye on things when Joker shows up. Hands covered in blood. And, well, he takes the stage. And basically, says, Harley can come up on the stage and shake it for everyone, or boom, boom. So she gets, she does her routine, and Mad Dog sits down by the stage, plants some cash in her panties, and included that is also a razor blade, which she then uses to cut Joker's throat. Fight breaks out. The squad's able to get guns off of Joker's men. Yonder manages to grab a control box, and actually manages to teleport out, give the box to Toyman, who promptly snaps his neck. The rest of them get out there, and he attacks Pebbles, and it's revealed that Toyman's a robot. When he gets shot to pieces, as by the Suicide Squad. A squad consisting of Rick Flag, Deathstroke, looks like, I'm guessing, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, Deadshot, maybe actually Firefly, though Firefly would be, dead. And I'm not entirely sure who the other member is. And it also seems quite possible that they also took down Silver Banshee. And that is where the issue ends. It's a good issue. Azzarello, it's Azzarello. I mean, Azzarello and Maleev. It's a great combination. I mean, keep in mind, Azzarello wrote 100 Bullets, which I covered trade by trade for a while. And I mean, there were points in that where you just get you get massive blocks of just characters hanging out and getting to know one another, which is what about half of this issue was the squad kind of hanging out and getting to know each other. But anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying live long and rock hard.